Welcome to the Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast. I'm Anthony.
Me, Rocco.
You are. Welcome to our version of As the KISS World Turns, where we discuss KISS current events, rumors, news, and interviews with current and past members. Strap in, crank it up, and let's talk KISS. Father Rocco. Oh, thank you.
And that's for Dave, wherever you are.
Where is Dave? Dave, little black diamond Dave. little.
I think he's in search of Mickey.
I have seemed to misplace my little black diamond Dave. What shall I do now? I know what I'll do. I'll give him a squeaky toy also.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. You want to go on vacation and take a week off? Pow, you're it. Hooligans, as you can see, we are Daveless this week.
Yes. We miss you, Dave.
I miss you terribly. My fellow ball buster isn't here. We don't get to tag team Father Rocco and drive him insane.
So I get a little breather.
No, I'll just bring extra.
Yeah, I figured.
So I got a few things that we can talk about and then really go overboard because there's a lot going on in the KISS world right now, but there's nothing at all going on at the same time. Good luck trying to figure that one out. It's just a lot of talk. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of speculation.
And a lot of KISS fans are trying to draw their own conclusions as to what's going on.
Damn right. That's what we do here. And everywhere. That's what KISS fans do, is they draw their own speculations. Let me have a sip of coffee out of my Hooligan Nation coffee cup.
Very nice mug.
Have I told you lately how good my coffee tastes in my Hooligan Nation coffee mug?
I got to get me one of those. How do I get one of those things?
You go to hooligannation.com. All right, so let's start out with this. And I think this is incredibly, incredibly cool. Ace Frehley solo band, and we talked about this in the last couple episodes. Ace Frehley's solo band has kind of morphed into a tribute act, which I think is really cool. And they are going to tour in Australia in September. So Dan the Man, Ace Frehley solo band is coming near you.
Check them out.
I don't have the list. It is not, Scotty Coogan is not with them. It is the solo band that went to Australia with Ace in like 2017, 2018. And I was kind of shocked at this. I mean, I think it's cool, but everybody picked it up. Loudwire, Blabbermouth, a bunch of other rock music news sites have picked it up and helping them out incredibly by putting it out there. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as Ryan Spencer Cook and Jeremy Asbrock is there, I would be in. I mean, I'm not flying to Australia. Hopefully they'll do some shows on the East Coast in America is what I'm hoping for.
I mean, they're both great performers, so you're not going to see a bad show. They're really good.
I do believe, and I can't break this because I don't know if I can or not, but I do believe they will be in New Jersey at some point. But I'm not 100% sure of that, and I don't even know if I should be saying that. So, but I do believe they're going to do at least one show in New Jersey, I heard.
Well, us Jersey boys will be rooting for it.
So I thought that was cool. I wanted to hit that real quick, and now we move on to the Indianapolis KISS Expo update. So the positives, and I thought this was really cool. Not shocking, but as soon as they put the whole Paul Stanley thing up on their website, it immediately sold out. And what I'm saying sold out is his appearance sold out. So his meet and greets and his autographing immediately sold out. He was only scheduled to be there one day. He was supposed to be there on Saturday. And by the time they went live the first time, which was last Tuesday night at about 10 o'clock, they were already completely sold out of it. And I guess Keith LaRue went to Paul Stanley And Paul Stanley said, well, if you want me to come for the second day on Sunday, if we can get more fans in, I will come for the second day. So they added Paul Stanley on to a second day, which I thought was really cool. I think it's really cool of Paul Stanley to do it.
Right.
There's all kinds of different listings on the website. We went through most of them, but now they've added how much it costs to ship mail-in bulky items, mail-in flat items. They're all different prices for both Eric Singer and for Paul Stanley. Everything is separate. So if you buy the Ultimate VIP weekend, it doesn't automatically get you anything that has to do with Paul Stanley or Eric Singer. You also have to purchase an autograph or a picture with both of them. So just be aware of that if you intend on going. I know they've added people recently. They had Barry Levine last week, and I'm pretty sure that they've added at least one other person here, but they haven't put them on the website yet. I know they added Chuck Garrick from Alice Cooper's band. Oh, they added John Corabi. And for some reason, I think they added another person. So they're moving along in what they're doing, and I'm not sure that they don't have much up on the website, but that's the update on the KISS Indy Expo, or yeah, it's the KISS Indy Expo. So if you went to their website and it read sold out for Paul Stanley, if you go back there now, they've added Sunday. And as far as I can see, there's still slots remaining. You know, it's early on, but right now it looks like an autograph signing to me. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more than that. It's just not publicized yet.
What was the dates on that again?
That was, I think it's April 11th and 12th. So that's really the only thing that I have to add for that. Okay, now on to the Gene Simmons Legends of Rock Expo in Las Vegas. And the dates for this is September 25th, 26th, and 27th. There has not been much added here. The one thing that has been added is they've added a third guest, Dave Davies, who they have down as a singer and songwriter and is known for being the lead guitar and vocals for the legendary British rock band The Kinks. Davies is known for his innovative guitar techniques, including being one of the first to use guitar distortion. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990. And Mr. Davies does not have a price on how much he is charging for whatever. It's not up yet. So I don't know if we covered this or not. I guess they took it off of everything. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't want to be the buzzkill that all the KISS fans don't want me to be. I can understand why the Indy Expo went out the way it was, because it's so short notice. And I can understand that, you know, you have to figure out availability for Paul because, you know, you really don't, as of right now, you really don't have an expo without Paul and Eric Singer there. In Gene's case, he's got a few more months. There is nothing on this website yet. I would even pique my interest.
Yeah, I want them to have enough stuff to where it's like, okay, we have to get ready to book something.
I mean, I got a lot of, I said this last week, I got a lot of faith in Gene, that if Gene's putting his name on it, it's going to be something. Again, I said this last week, I really feel as though we're going to be in Vegas in September for this.
I've already put out to Angel, can you get the timeshare?
The hotel's cheap, dude.
Yeah.
The hotel is incredibly cheap. That hotel is $99 a night.
Really?
It's the Westgate Hotel. So, like, that's cheap. in certain respects, I understand why things are so slow moving. I just don't know why they rolled this out with nothing. And I would love to know, and nobody's going to tell me, are people buying this blindly? Are they getting reservations? Is this happen? Are people blindly doing this? And my next question would be, and I know this, Joseph Kiss Sr., who is one of our subscribers, shout out Joseph Kiss Sr., he was in Vegas last year for Kiss Cruise Landlocked, and because they waited, Metallica put themselves in the sphere, and he bought the tickets and he's going to Vegas for Metallica in October. Gene just lost one person that would have went, and maybe that's part of the reason why they rolled this out so incomplete.
Just to get something brewing.
If I lived in Los Angeles, if I lived in Las Vegas, of course, if I lived in the area, it would be different. But for us that's got to travel across the country, you
Well,
got to give me
it's
some kind of a better idea of what's going on.
It's got to be more of a KISS event, not just a Gene event, just like the Indianapolis thing. Like you're separating them. There's no guarantee that Paul's going to be part of what Gene's got going on. And even if he is, how are they going to do that? Like we can run, I think we talked a little bit last week. You can run into all kinds of conspiracy things about it, but I think you're in lockstep with me. If it's not a KISS event and it's just Gene throwing a few buddies together at an event, it's going to be a hard sell. You're not saying what they're doing. You're not saying anything about performance wise. Again, they better start adding some substance to it. Like I know we covered a little bit last week. They better start adding stuff quick. Otherwise, they're gonna end up losing a lot of sales. And I think the more they put into it now, to where it shows that it could be a lot of fun and exciting, like anywhere close to what it was at the KISS Landlock. As soon as we see some substance to that, it's going to make me want to go again.
Well, let me address a couple things. And this is a personal preference thing. It does not have to be a KISS branded event for me. It can be a Gene Simmons branded event. It does not have to be incredibly KISS-centric. I mean, I'm guessing it's a Gene Simmons thing, so you're going to get the Gene Simmons band. Like, this is all what we've said last week. So that's pretty KISS-centric. Bruce Kulick is on the list. That's also pretty KISS-centric.
Right.
It's going to be all about who else.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like Hooligans, I know we covered a little bit last week, and it's almost like we're beating a dead horse. But this horse is just getting started. You know what I mean? This is that. There's still more things. Hopefully, they're going to be coming with this. So this is a subject that's going to get touched on, probably right up until we get the final details of what's going on.
Well, for those hooligans out there that don't know this, I'll give you a little more insider information. Not the kind that you want, but we record both the Wednesday and Friday episodes, usually the Tuesday before. So today, it is Tuesday, March 3rd.
Yep.
Tuesday, March 3rd, and we're filming. And today, Tuesday, March 3rd, news broke that Sebastian Bach and Joey Casada have joined Twisted Sister for their short run of tour dates. I think it's supposed to be 6 shows as of right now, and I have a feeling it's going to become more than that. Why don't Gene go out and get Twisted Sister to play? And if he did, going off on my question that I was trying to drive home last week, is that enough for you?
No, I want more than that.
You want more than that?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not looking for like mainstream big time names, even names like Twisted Sister. I'm looking for last year, and any hooligan out there that went to the event last year. And if you've been to KISS conventions, I would imagine, KISS cruises, I would imagine you kind of get that same vibe on the cruises. I never experienced anything like that. I followed this band my entire life, and the experience of being with fellow, I've said it before, of being with fellow KISS fans everywhere you look, hearing KISS music in the hallway, like it's my people. It's almost like the Star Trek conventions. Like I want that again. Yeah. Yeah, I want that again. I mean, I want the experience of sharing. It almost makes me feel like I'm back in the 80s again.
I don't think anybody can tell you whether they're going to play Kiss music pretty much 24 hours a day or not. I think the majority of the fans that will be there will be Kiss fans. And maybe,
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like the spectacle,
again, what the hell do I know?
but just the spectacle of the whole thing, you know?
Well, I would think if it's Gene, it's going to be a spectacle of some kind. And if I was Gene and I was sitting at home today and I found out that Sebastian Bach is going to sing for Twisted Sister and Joey Casada is going to play drums for Twisted Sister, I'll go off of what I said last week. You now can have all kinds of options. You're adding pieces to your puzzle. Like you can have Twisted Sister play and the Handsome Devils play, and you only have to provide transportation, hotel, and pay one drummer. A lot of these bands today are kind of interchangeable.
Well, here's the thing though, too, Ant. The other thing that we're not considering is they needs to hop on it quick with this stuff because a lot of these guys are already booking things that they're doing, side projects and things like that. So
Sure, but we don't know, are things done and they just haven't rolled it out yet? Or are they really as far behind as they look?
that's true. That's very true.
I mean, I don't understand the music business part to that kind of level. So I don't understand why you would sign an act or a person and then not throw them on the website immediately. But maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe these are done deals. I'm just saying, if I was Gene Simmons and I was home today and I found out that Sebastian Bach and Joey Casada were members of Twisted Sister and they were going to go out and do some shows starting in September, I'd be on the phone to JJ French.
Right.
Like, hey, how about making a stop in Vegas and playing here, because I think that would be a draw. I think it would be a probably a pretty big draw to where that might be big enough that you have your third headliner, Gene, Bruce's band, and Twisted Sister. I don't know. It's not terrible. I mean, yes, I agree with you. You need more. I need more. But throw in 3 opening acts of some kind of substance. The Handsome Devils, in my case, and I'm a fanboy. Red Devil Vortex.
I'm a fan too. Yeah.
Space Frehley. Slaughter.
There's options out there. They could definitely add a lot to. But here's the thing too. They're saying they're almost making it look like it's an autograph thing because they're not saying anything about Bruce or Gene playing anything on the website yet. So that's what I'm saying. We're already in March. They need to start saying, okay, Gene's band will be playing because Gene hasn't even said that, right? He's making an appearance, but he has not said nothing about the Gene Simmons band. You can make assumptions. I would imagine Bruce is going to play if he's going to be there, but
well, it's not an assumption. I guess the only reason why it's not an assumption is because generally, and I'm looking on the website right now to see if it hasn't changed, because that's the other thing. These guys are changing their branding on the website often. So it says experience legendary artists live and in person with autograph sessions, photo ops, parties, panels, concerts, and once in a lifetime moments.
Concerts, that right there tells me, okay, all right, that's good then.
But it doesn't say who's playing. And for me, and I know for you, that's not enough.
No.
You can't tell me concerts. Well, how many? Well, we know how many because they're selling them in the VIP packages. There's going to be a show Thursday night, a show Friday night, and a show Saturday night. Okay. You don't have to give me all 6 acts, and I'm guessing that there's 6. But you don't have to give me all 6 acts, but give me, like, we are guessing, and it's a very good guess, that Gene Simmons solo band is going to play one night, and Bruce Kulick's solo band is going to play the next night. Okay, I got it. Great. Give me the third headliner and then add a couple more guests, and you probably got me right there. Give me some kind of information. Give me a roadmap to like what's going to go on. A little more detail, like they're saying panels. Okay, I don't really want to see a Gene Simmons solo show, a Gene Simmons question and answer panel. Like you're not going to get me by that. You would do better getting me if you gave me Gene Simmons band will play Saturday night. Okay, I'm good with the set list that he put out in 2026. I was going to go see him anyway. So now I don't have to go see him. I'll wait till Vegas. Okay, I'm cool with that. And then I'm only using an example, but Barbara Ezrin will appear in person for a Q&A panel. Okay. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. Or this is Legends of Rock. Does he keep it to just music? Like as much as we joke, that's me, and goof on Gene for his movie business career. Like, is he going to bring in maybe actors or actresses that he knows? Is he going to turn this into something different? Like, these are the things that I need to kind of see at least a little bit more. I mean, I don't know anything about the Westgate Hotel.
I don't even know where it's located is in correlation to like where the Virgin was.
I have heard, and I don't know this, but I've heard it's like right behind the Sphere, which
Okay.
That's
That works.
that's good. That works, and that's good right there because we know that area and you can walk it all.
Absolutely.
So that works right there. The fact that I just checked, I think yesterday again, reservations for the Westgate for that weekend are $99 a night. That's good too. Like you're not trying to kill me with $300 a night. I can tell you right now, the Embassy Suites in Indianapolis, I think it was Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night in the Indianapolis. So it was 3 nights. Embassy Suites for the Indy KISS Expo was $275 and change a night. In Vegas, at the Westgate, $99 a night. Now, I'm sure I didn't go as far as getting taxes and all that, so I'm sure it's more than $99, but shit, if it's another $50
as a base, excuse me, as a base
right?
price, as a base price, that's really good.
Right. I thought it was really good. It's 3 days, just like Kiss Cruise Landlocked was, except it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, not Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There has been no talk of any kind of pre-party or anything like that. Actually, I've been looking for Creatures Fest stuff, and they've been really, really quiet. So I don't know. I guess there's not going to be any Creatures Fest event this year. Last year they didn't do anything separate, and they said they didn't do it because of Kiss Cruise Landlocked.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, 100% speculation, but I'm wondering if they're not going to do anything this year because they're going to be part of Gene Simmons' Legends of Rock Expo.
I would hope so. They're really good at running things. That's for sure.
Again, if Gene wants me to spend, I think I priced it all out for us and to fly, get the one VIP package, which was, I think it's second to top. Like we did not go for the Black Diamond package. The gold VIP package, airfare and hotel, and I think a rental car was like $1,600 a piece, which would make it cheaper than Kiss Cruise Landlocked
Yeah, that definitely
by,
sounds doable. That seems doable.
yeah, I think it's cheaper by like $500 so far.
Secure some things, secure some acts, some, really finalize some things up there. And then sign me up.
You got to answer some questions. Shit, Metallica will be probably rehearsing there, so just add Metallica to the Friday night show.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And we'll be. I don't know if that's happening. Is that? I mean, yes, that is crazy.
I
But
mean, they may be into it, but they're too big of a band. There's no way you'd be able to do that.
why?
How would you do that? It's impossible.
It's not impossible. I can
Maybe
tell you right now. I
maybe they
mean,
hop in for a Q&A, but
it's crazy,
the
and
venue's way too
I'm the
small
first
for that.
one
Yeah.
to admit it's crazy, but it's not too small. Metallica just the end of last year, they did a show for Sirius XM for their launch of their
I remember that.
channel.
Yep. Mm.
It's like a 200 person place. Metallica played a 200 person place, so I think it's far fetched, and I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't think it's.
Mm. That's
I don't
hilarious.
think
Could you
it's
imagine
completely
if they did,
crazy.
and if they put on there, they got everything lined up the way we want. They added some people that we want, and everything's good. We're happy with it. And then all of a sudden, and there will be one surprise guest band showing up, and you get Metallica doing like 2 Kiss songs. Oh man, that'd be great.
I don't know if Metallica is going to do Kiss songs, but if you do Metallica doing Metallica songs, you have to consider. This has been said. Like we're
I
not
think I seen
breaking
a clip of
anything.
Metallica doing a Kiss song on YouTube somewhere, I think.
I have never seen that, but I'm not saying it's impossible, but I've never seen that. And also, I'm guessing Gene has to have relationships with these people. Like he's got to be able to pick the phone up and hey, James, you're going to be in Vegas. Like you want part of this? Can you do me a favor and be part of this? Alice Cooper will be in Vegas for a residency with Chris Angel. Now, I think that's in the spring, but I really am going out on a limb and saying that that's going to hit and they'll probably do it again. So if Alice goes back to Vegas, let's say in September or October, you could throw Alice Cooper in there. Sammy's doing residencies in Vegas this year. You have potential of really blowing the roof off of everything if you consider the reach that Gene has and the bands that may be available in the area. Like, I don't know. Am I crazy? Yes, probably. Most likely. Yes, actually, I am. You imagine if you wake up tomorrow morning and they announce Metallica, Alice Cooper, Sammy Hagar, Gene Simmons band, Bruce Kulick's band, and the Handsome Devils, and
Yeah,
just stop there?
I think the hooligans think we're nuts now. That's a lot, dude.
Okay, but if I called you
I'll
up
take
tomorrow
it.
morning, if I called you up tomorrow morning and said, hey, Gene Simmons just put this on his website, it's going to be his band performing, Bruce's band performing, the Handsome Devils performing, Alice Cooper and Sammy Hagar. Let's leave Metallica out because I think that they're probably too big. But if I say that, are we going?
Fuck. Yeah. It was almost an F-bomb, but yes, we're definitely going.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah. And I that would be overboard. That's more than I need. Like he can go less than that, but he's got to give us some, at least us. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe people are buying this, and that's why he's slow rolling it all because he's like, well, they're buying it. I'm sure they're making reservations. Like, hey,
Listen, there's those people that are going to say that, you know what, it'll at least be something. They got money to burn. We'll make a vacation out of it. We'll go see other things in Vegas. We'll go to the Sphere, and then we'll make sure we check this out too. You know what I mean? But my money's I don't have money to burn like that. So if I'm calculating what I'm doing, I want to make sure that it's as close to what last year was as possible because that was a lifetime experience I'll never forget.
I've learned in my 51 years on this earth, when you go to something that's great, and Kiss Cruise Landlocked, all in all, was great last year. The second, the third, the fourth time, usually it's like sequel movies.
Yeah.
They're never as good. As long as they're a little different, if they're not going to be as good, I'm okay with it. Like I'm a little different than you. I don't need the Kiss music playing 24 hours a day.
No, it wasn't about the music. It was again, it was the whole
It
spectacle
was
of
the atmosphere. It was the
it
atmosphere.
was
I get
right.
that.
It was
But
awesome.
I didn't need that. I thought the branding all over the hotel
Yeah.
was epic.
Epic. Epic is a good word.
But I don't need that kind of
The
branding.
chicks on stilts, can they at least come back?
I like chicks whether they're on stilts or they're midgets. So yeah, they can come back. Maybe you get mini female Kiss there this year. I don't know. I know there's a mini Kiss. Maybe there's a mini female Kiss. I don't need it to be at the level. Like I don't. Just me. I don't need karaoke. I don't need cooking with Paul. Like I don't need that kind of
That
stuff.
was just the venue had that there. That was just an extra little snippet that they had available if people wanted to do it.
Give me
That
some Q&A panels. Like
that didn't cost them anything.
bring in Doc McGee again to do another Q&A panel. I'm good with that. Bring Bruce in to do another Q&A panel. I would be very much into that. Gene's gonna do a Q&A panel, and you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the Gene comedy hour. That's not really that funny, but do what you got to do with that. You just got to add something more, and I don't know what that more is, but Sammy Hagar would be that more. Alice Cooper would be that more. I said this last week. Like to me, Slaughter is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's a Kiss-centric band, and that's what I would go for. The Handsome Devils. Maybe we're crazy, and I don't get a lot of feedback, and I don't read a lot about it. But to me, the Handsome Devils were what made Kiss Cruise Landlocked 2025. They were the mind-blowing band. Don't get me wrong. Kiss on Saturday night was great.
Absolutely. Better than I expected.
And Bruce on Sunday night was great. But the Handsome Devils were absolutely number one. And they really weren't part of Kiss Cruise Landlocked. It was a Thursday night pre-party.
Yeah, and then don't short sight the Ace Frehley band too. They were
No,
phenomenal
I'm not.
too.
I'm not trying to
No,
take.
I'm
Look,
just saying we got to add. The reason I'm with you lockstep with the Handsome Devils, and we're always like emphasizing how good they were, and they were, but Jeremy Asbrock and I'm not good with the names. Did that the Ace Frehley band set the tone, and they were really really good too. That they deserve their flowers too because they were fantastic.
yes, I think they're unavailable. I think they'll be in Australia, but I'm not 100% sure. And look, I thought Quarantine was great. Black and Blue blew my mind.
They were really good too.
Yeah, I mean, to close out the entire expo or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, landlocked, Vegas, whatever it is, to close that out, I thought they were great. And it was a shame that they put them on last
Yeah.
because nobody stayed.
What I liked about Black and Blue, and obviously I've been a fan of Black and Blue for a long time, but what I liked about it is you've seen a whole nother side of Tommy Thayer. He was having a blast up on stage.
Yeah, it's almost a different Tommy Thayer because he's not playing a role. And if he is playing a role, it's the role he's playing is Tommy
Himself.
Thayer.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it was a different side of Tommy that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
Look, you could bring Black and Blue back, or you could bring out Thayer St. James. I would be okay with that. I would also be okay with Stanley Simmons. I would be okay with that too. That's not going to get me to pay. They're add-ons.
Right.
I'm not flying across the country for Stanley Simmons. I'm also not flying across the country for Thayer St. James.
But it's a nice added thing. Like when we saw, remember we saw Paul Stanley's son there early
Yeah.
on when we first got there.
Hmm.
In the back of my mind the entire time, because they had their album brewing, I'm saying to myself, they're going to surprise us. They're going to do something with them, or they're going to bring them up on stage when Kiss had their set. So I was really surprised that they were just kind of like spectators and weren't involved. If another event, especially if somehow Paul's involved with Gene at some point with it, I'd be surprised if they don't do something.
I feel as though Paul is not going to be involved. I don't know why. Gene is not going to be involved in Indianapolis. Paul is not going to be involved in Las Vegas. And it, look, this is completely horseshit that's going to come out of my mouth. I'm wondering if it's because they're towing that line with Pop House. If Gene has Eric and Tommy, let's just say, and they haven't been announced. If he adds Paul, like Pop House is going to be like, hold on, you're now Kiss, and the same thing with, and maybe not the same thing, but you have Eric and Paul and Indy. If you add Tommy and you add Gene, look, if I was Keith LaRue, I would say, hey guys, all four of you are going to be here. Why don't you play a little? And I
Right.
don't know what the legal ramifications of that are. So maybe Paul and Gene said, in 2026, let's try to do things as Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Let's do them separately. This will
Me-
keep us in the good graces of Pop
Yeah.
And
The
let's do
avatars
that.
and stuff. Yeah,
So
they got to stay in good graces. Absolutely.
I'm starting to think, and I've given this some thought over the last week. I'm starting to think you're not going to see Kiss play in 2026. And I hope I'm wrong, but if that was Gene Simmons, Legends of Rock Expo, and Pop House was involved, I would be more like, oh, this is maybe going to happen. Things are looking really separate.
There's another thing to consider too. 2027 is when the avatars are supposed to debut, right?
Supposed to.
Right. So now you say to yourself, okay, if we're gonna let's do our own thing this year, like you along with the vein of what you just said, but 2027 is going to be a monster year for us. We're going to do another event. Pop House is going to be involved with us, and it's going to bring in the Kiss Cruise Landlock and bring out the avatars. They could make 2027 a bigger year and do it with Pop House like they're on schedule for a nice kind of red carpet ride for the avatars. They got to make a big bang to make it draw as much attention as possible so that it actually is a success.
So, look, we do this little podcast here. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me. I, in my mind, it was a no-brainer. When Paul Stanley was standing there on the stage saying that he wants to go back on sea for a cruise, I was like, no, you do that after the avatars. Like,
Right.
you branded Vegas the unofficial KISS headquarters, whether they meant to do it or not. And I'm going to say this again, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons do not accidentally do things. They just don't. In their history, they don't accidentally do
Well,
things.
you know what, too? Like, you just made me think of something. Vegas has become the place where bands go to chill and do things their way.
Oh,
It's like a retirement. It's like when old people go to Florida. That's Vegas is the place where bands kind of go on like half of what they used to do, and they go and chill in Vegas.
well, why wouldn't you do that? Look at how many of
Well, that's what I'm
them,
saying. It just
look at
makes
how many
sense,
artists live in the Vegas area. You have good weather.
right?
Vegas is like a smaller New York City in the desert. It
Right.
never stops. If you follow any of these guys, it's like, the other spot is Nashville.
Yeah.
They're all moving
That's on my
away
bucket list.
from the Los Angeles area and the New York area, and I'm
Correct.
guessing the number one reason is probably financial, real estate, and tax
Right.
implications. It's
Right.
just my guess.
No, you're probably right in that.
You move yourself to Nashville, you move yourself to Vegas, you have somewhere potentially to play 7 nights a week if you want to. And if you follow
Yep.
these guys, a lot of these guys, like Todd Kearns, is constantly playing. It's not all in Vegas, but he lives in Vegas. They're not playing stadiums or arenas. Like they're not playing
Enough
Allegiant
to
Stadium.
make a good living.
But I don't know, but they're playing every night and it's available to them. And Kiss made that their unofficial headquarters. And as far as I'm concerned, Pop House dropped the ball. And we said this last week, but Pop House really dropped the ball. Like, to me, Gene can save Pop House. If Gene puts on a really good expo in 2026, then if they come back with a KISS cruise landlocked in 27, well, we've gone in 25, we've gone in 26. Yeah, we're going in 27. It took
Absolutely.
30 seconds in the beginning of filming last week for all three of us to agree, I think we're going to Vegas this year. It took 30 seconds. I understand we're waiting, but we were like, oh, Indy KISS Expo, that looks cool. Vegas? Yeah, we're probably going to Vegas. And I think part of that is because we went last year. Nobody had a bad time last year. So we're like, okay, give us something, but you got to give us something. And if you don't give us something and we don't go to Vegas in 26, I think you have to give us more to entice us there in 27. And from what I know, I don't even think they've started construction on the building that they're putting the avatars in.
But they need to create enough of a buzz to where, like, you can't really talk to anybody and mention the sphere and somebody wanting to check it out. It's a spectacle, and we went and seen it, and it's awesome, right? They need to make it the avatars to not just be in Kiss minds. They need to like make it a thing to where it's like, oh my God, I got to check that out when I go to Vegas, or if I go to Vegas. They need to make it a buzz.
I think part of the way they could have made it a buzz is by doing a KISS cruise landlocked in Vegas 2026. And that is clearly, clearly not happening. I just don't see it happening. I mean, it's still possible, but you would be cutting Gene's throat. That is essentially what you would be doing. If Pop House said, we're going to do KISS Cruise Landlocked 2026 in November, are we doing Gene Simmons in September? Or are we doing KISS Cruise Landlocked in
Yeah, you
November?
can't do both.
Right. So you're cutting Gene's throat.
Very interesting. It's very interesting dynamic because you never get the full story about what exactly Pop House is doing.
Well, Pop House isn't telling anybody anything. Gene and Paul have not started their interview tours, which I have a feeling are coming up. I mean, I don't know that Paul is even going to do anything special for the Indy KISS Expo. And the only reason why is because it's selling, at least his part of it is selling very well.
And it's too late to really do a lot.
But no, I mean, Paul could go on a podcast and start dropping, you know, little nugget bombs.
I'm going to do an acoustic set of my 78 solo album.
Thank you. That's all he's got to do. That's all he's got to do.
Very true.
KISS Expo turns to, oh, that's interesting, to how many fans go, I'm going. I have to go. Okay, I'm going to sign up and go. Same thing on Gene's side. And I fully am waiting to turn on YouTube and see Gene's face. And then I feel as though we're going to see Gene's face like once a week until September on a different podcast or doing a different interview. And he's going to be selling you this Legends of Rock Expo. If we don't see it, if
Well,
we don't
listen,
see it
when
this week, it makes me think that they're still trying to put it together.
when we get him on the podcast, I got some real specific questions for him.
Yeah, good luck. hmm Yeah.
We're going to do the podcast for him in a gymnasium.
Yeah, you're going to be victimized like the last poor bastard was. Gene's going to go and give us hopefully a lot of good information because he's going to want to sell his expo.
He's going to promote. It's all about him promoting it. That's all.
Right. But if he's not started to do that yet, that to me means that they don't have anything to promote. You know what? We have branded this Wednesday segment perfectly for this. As the KISS world turns, it's a little soap opera right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little soap opera. It's a little guessing game. I'm sure when we film next week, there'll be more to talk about. And I have a feeling that the Indy KISS Expo and the Legends of Rock Expo are going to be a topic on and off for the near future because it is once again fascinating the way they do things and to find out why they do them the way they do them. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please leave us a review. And if you just found us, check out our past episodes. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel and you like this episode, please consider hitting the like button, just like that guy right there, and leaving us a comment. Hit that subscribe button, just like Father Rocco right there, so you don't miss any future episodes. And check out these episodes right here or here. I don't know yet. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for supporting us. And don't forget, we should all lead with love and take care of each other. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.